You wrote a blog post kind of highlighting a lot of these topics, and one of the things you talked about was kind of an end-of-day ritual, or can you say more about that?
Yeah, my end-of-day ritual, and I think I would encourage everyone to have a end-of-day ritual, but it doesn't have to be mine. But my end-of-day ritual is to clear out my inbox, clear out my tasks, so that there's nothing outstanding, and set up tomorrow. And so clear out my inbox means every email goes to a task or gets responded. And by the way, end of day to me means when I leave the office for the day or before I go to bed at night if I'm on the road, right? So when I'm on the road, I'm probably catching up at 10 o'clock at night on email, and I want to be done before I go to sleep. When I'm at home, I want to be done before I leave the office. That's sort of when the ritual happens. And then it's clear out the inbox, review the tasks, and then look at tomorrow. What am I going to do tomorrow? What tasks do I have? Do I have too many in today? If I have 20 tasks in today, I'm not going to do, I know I won't do more than 10, let's say. So I might as well decide now which 10 I'm going to do. So that you're relaxed before. To me, that's what allows me to sleep, right? I'm relaxed, I go home, I'm done with my email, I'm set up for tomorrow, I'm good to go. I don't have anything I need to worry about until my day starts tomorrow. That's the end of day ritual, yeah.
Excellent. I can kind of hear people sort of thinking at this moment, well, yeah, but what about the fires that come up? What if, everything's sort of falling apart at 6 p.m. or 7 or 8 p.m.? How do you approach that? Yeah,
totally. And look, I think different businesses are different based on their stage or what they do. My first startup dispatched 911 for ambulance companies. So when you called 911, it was our software that determined which ambulance. And if something went wrong at 3 o'clock in the morning, I didn't have I got a task for that for 8 a.m. tomorrow, right? And, the world's on fire and you got to deal with it. I think that when you have situations like that, it's okay to have your sort of downtime go out the window, and you have to deal with the fire. That's part of working in a startup. But if the fire is, I feel anxiety because I have too many emails in my inbox or too many tasks, or I feel like I have too much to do, that's not a real fire. That's something that these organizational techniques can reduce the anxiety without having to, work until 3 o'clock in the morning.
So let's put yourself in the shoes of somebody watching who feels just completely overwhelmed right now, both in personal tasks and things coming in and where the business is at. Where would you encourage them to start?
Yeah, so, first of all, been there, right? And, I'm sure I spent the better part of a decade feeling that way nonstop. And it probably that feeling that nonstop is what drove me to, I can't sustain this. So well aware of that feeling. And the rest, I can't emphasize enough that the rest and the clarity of mind is what reduces the anxiety far more than getting the things done. Mm-hmm. And so the organizational skills to really have a deep understanding of what is really a fire that is life-threatening to the business versus a task of many that need to be done but isn't urgent, and categorizing that and getting it in writing, electronically, filed away somewhere so that you trust your system and it will get taken care of, is a better alternative than trying to take care of all of them.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about sort of the end-of-day ritual and how work helps you sleep. What are some of the other techniques that you've used to ensure that you get a good night of sleep?
Look, I think, work-life balance is a term that we use a lot. Work-life harmony, I think, is what we're trying to say now, because
I usually call it work-life integration.
Work-life integration is a great term, too. Look, all of us as entrepreneurs have work and play mixed together. But figuring out what that right balance is and putting thought into it. And if you have a significant other or a family, talking about it openly is good. The things I've done there are, we talked earlier about the vacations off the grid. That is important. Decide, is Saturday off the grid? Mm-hmm. Is Sunday off the grid? My personal rule is I try to be present with my family and on evenings and weekends. But if they're watching HGTV, that's license for me to catch up on a few things. And so it means that I'm not off the grid all weekend. I'll check in a few times and clear some things out. That works for me at the stage of life that I am. But when I had little kids, I didn't have that luxury. And so these things sort of evolve over time. And thinking through that is the other thing that maybe creates some peace in your life that allows you to sleep better, think more sharply, and get more done. And I am constantly amazed. If you haven't taken a vacation off the grid, I strongly, strongly recommend it, because I find that I come back and I make better decisions. The clarity of thought I have from the rest is liberating and lasts the rest of the year. And if I don't do it once a year, I can feel that I need that vacation. And part of that, I have the same thing in a micro way every day, in that this method of sort of clearing out my inbox once a day so that I know that every email that has come to me in the last 24 hours has been responded to. Every task that I have at the end of the day, I'll say, yep, I didn't get to that, but that's okay. I'll do that one tomorrow, or that one next week, or, oh my God, I got to do that one, so I'll do it right now. The knowing that there's nothing outstanding in my email or my tasks allows me to sleep so much better. Earlier in my life, I used to worry about work. I'd think about things. I wouldn't have restful sleep. Now I sleep 9 hours every single night, 10 hours on weekends. If there was an Olympic sport for sleeping, I think I could get at least a silver medal on that one. And that too allows for better decision makings. And all my life, I have people that say, "What? You sleep 9 hours a night, David? How do you get so much done?" And I just think that when the email pops into my inbox, I know how to answer it better than if I had been up half the night tossing and turning and worrying about it. And getting all of those thoughts out of my head and out of my inbox and out of my task list and categorized in the right way gives me that peace of mind.
Yeah, makes sense.